somehow did not know that David Newmark was involved in the creation of the movie. Creating a laser. It's kind of amazing, but no, it was good to catch up with him too. It was very nice to catch up. Huh? Well, I think he left when he came back, but he was trying with Dick Sills.
We do appropriately.
Okay. Now, where'd Howard?
How did that happen?
Hey, Howard.
Hello.
Howard, I just need you for 1 second before we get started here. I always freak out that I'm missing one page for your script. Okay, and I have that, so don't worry about that.
Yes, please.
You make a fool out of yourself in front of the microphone?
It goes pretty quickly into. All right, people. Shelley? One other thing is that before they walk in, not once they get up here. But we can keep that up here for now, and I can give it to you. Yeah, that's up to you. I mean, yes, that's a good idea. Yes, why don't you take this one in front of you?
And you don't want the other stuff, yeah? What you want?
Not yet, but we can. But afterwards, that's okay.
That's what I really want. Should be allowed.
No. I promise you, if it felt like I needed it, I wouldn't.
That was a good crowd, huh?
Yeah, kind of like always a surprise, but I figured like a day like this and all that, you know.
And also the team.
Oh, nice to see Georgia and Moss.
He wants to come to you.
Yeah, which is cool. It's really cool. Okay. So I'll Love it. Brisket here. You know, at this point of the day, I was just saying to somebody, I'm grateful for the family service because the hardest thing on Yom Kippur actually is not having something to do. I remember that was one of the lessons I learned as a kid. Like my dad would always stay at shul, right? And I would go home for a nap. And by the time I got home and actually put my head down and then I had to get back up for this service usually, you feel much worse than if you had just stayed in one place. Exactly. No, we really need is like some kind of like nap mobile, you know, like some kind of thing that can be brought. That's exactly, you know, look, if I think that should be a fixture actually in all places. I love that. Well, we happen to know somebody who might have an influence on this, you know. What do you think, Dominic? Could we? Have you seen, by the way? It will be much less destructive than years past. That's for sure. Although I think we will miss some of the DIY of trying to figure out how to reconstruct a sukkah that has been. Oh my God! No. There were 3 years in a row where that happened, but of varying degrees. There was one year where it caved it in. It just literally, like, I showed up to work the next morning and it was just completely falling over. I know. No, Dominic saved us. If we would not have had a Sukkot without Dominic. That's like the bottom line, right? That's a big deal, Dominic. You know, it's a commanded holiday. If we didn't have it, it'd be bad news. I might have lost my job, right? They might have gotten rid of the rabbi. What kind of rabbi has this, you know? Exactly. Doesn't know how to build a sukkah. You know, that would. Oh yeah, I was going to ask. If there was an end to that sentence, then they did great, right? If they went to any, you know, like anything at all, trust me, like I went home for the holidays, but if I had stayed at school, I don't know. Oh, we have to. That's good. That's great. Very sweet. That always makes me happy. All right. All right. Kamar Tov, everyone. How are we feeling? Good? Feeling good? Okay. All righty, people. We can do this. For sure. Okay, well, we're going to jump right into our Torah service for our Mincha service, and we welcome those that may be watching us at home. You should have a machzor on your chair. If you don't, for any reason, let us know. We're on page 328 for the beginning of Seder Kriyat HaTorah. Linda, could you do me a favor, or Lou? Could you do me a favor? Could you just ask everybody to close all those doors up? That would be very appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay, page 328, Vayhi bin Soharon.
Vayehi bin Soharon, Vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai, Veyafutzu oivecha, Veyanusu misanecha mipanecha, Ki mitzion teitze Torah, Ki mitzion teitze Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Nunamo Yisrael B'kedushato.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh V'Nora Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh V'Nora Shemo.
Galul Adonai Iti Umuneo B'ma Shemo
Yachdav Lecha Adonai HaGedula VeHaGevura VeHaTiferet VeHaNetzach VeHaHod Ki Chol Bashamayim Uvaretz Ki Chol Bashamayim Uvaretz Adonai VeHaMamlacha VeHaMitnasei Lechol Erosh Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu LeHaKodsho Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu LeHaKodsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
Okay, please be seated. Good one.
Can I?
We reached that part of the day. Okay. So everyone situated here, and Cantor, I'll grab that mic from you. Just to introduce our Torah reading for this morning on page 331. We're reading from Genesis 50, the end of the book of Breshit, for at least 3 reasons. The reading of Genesis 50 can be an especially poignant on Yom Kippur. 1, the Day of Atonement begins with a sacred chant to annul vows and oaths that cannot be kept, Kol Nidre. Here we turn to a dramatic chapter of the Torah that is framed by promises that are kept. Joseph's promise to bury Jacob in the land of Canaan, and the promise that Joseph elicits from his brothers to carry his bones to the promised land. Number 2, the chapter is framed as well by the deaths of Jacob and Joseph, appropriate to this day of solemn Yizkor prayer. And 3, Genesis 50 bears witness to the power of forgiveness to heal emotional wounds. Indeed, Joseph's tears of forgiveness in chapter 50 are fraught with memories of the events recounted in earlier chapters of Genesis. His assault, kidnapping, and sale into slavery. According to a retelling of the story in the book of Jubilees, his brother's heinous crime against Joseph occurred on the 10th day of the 7th month, the very date of Yom Kippur, which suggests a connection between the Joseph narrative and this holy day on which forgiveness is sought and offered. In the end, Joseph consoles his brothers, which leaves us with a consummate lesson for Yom Kippur. Deceptions and hurts within a family can go on in a perpetual cycle, writes Eliot Friedman. In order to bring an end, one member of the family who is entitled to retribution must stop the cycle and forgive instead. This is what Joseph does here, and perhaps that is precisely why this chapter is framed by promises that are kept. Genesis 50 is an atonement tale of a family now healed of intergenerational wounds, cleansed of jealousy, resentment, and deceit, a family whose continuity is assured by the promise to carry Joseph's bones to the land of his ancestors. So we're going to read 3 aliyot this afternoon on page 332. Just going to turn this volume down a little bit. And I know we've given out, right? Laura, you want to lead us off? You look like you're ready to lead off. Very good. So Laura Auerbach is going to come and lead us off with the first aliyah for this afternoon's reading. Again, page 332. Then let's hope the rabbi can find his place and his yad. There it is. Dominic's going to come up too. Okay. Do it as you should. Do you remember your Hebrew name?
Mine?
Yes.
Hannah.
Chana Bat.
Ben Bat. Chaim.
Chaim. Arlene Lalia Harishona. Thanks for being here. Okay, you have your sheet handy.
And my little handy sheet.
Baruch hu et Adonai hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hambarach le'olam ba'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Notain HaTorah.
Amen. All right, guys, just give us a second. There it is. Okay. That's right. Yep. Amen. Vayashov Yosef Mitzrayma hu ve'echav v'chol ha'olim ito likbor et aviv acharei kovro et aviv vayir'u achei Yosef כי מת אביהם ויאמרו לו ישטמנו יוסף והשב ישיב לנו את כל הרעה אשר גמלנו אותו ויצבו אל יוסף לאמור אביך ציווה לפני מותו לאמור כה תאמרו ליוסף עשה נא פשע אחיך וחטאתם כי ראה גמלוך ואתה שנא לפשע עבדי אלוהי אביך ויפ יוסף בדברם אליו.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. You did great. You did great.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, now I know we're reserving one of our aliyot. I think we'll save it for the end for our teachers. Yes, so Andy is going to do our second. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Okay, great to see you, buddy.
Sorry. Figured it out pretty quick.
Yavod. Avram ben Eshol Aliyah Hashenit. Okay, if you want to take this one here. Sorry, that helps.
Baruch Hu es Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayelechu gam echav vayipelu lefanav vayomeru hinenu lecha la'avadim vayomer alehem Yosef al tira'u ki hatachat Elohim ani ve'atem חשבתם עלי רעה, אלוהים חשבה לטובה, למען עשו כיום הזה להחיות עם רב. ועתה אל תיראו אנוכי אכלכל אתכם ואת טפכם וינחם אותם וידבר על ליבם.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And for our third aliyah, this is a great privilege to invite up some of the wonderful teachers of our Hebrew schools. So I know we've got a few who are with us. Wendy and Diane are going to come up. I feel like I saw Lee before, somewhere in the house. Okay, and of course, our Hebrew school director. And when she has time for it, executive director, you know. Shelley, we appreciate all that you do in leading this wonderful group of teachers. And we know there are others as well, and they're with us here in spirit. So thank you, guys. Well, let's call you up. So, Tom, do Rachel bat Ora Lazarus ve Chana Rachel bat Shmuel Yankov Esther ve Varda bat Chaim ve Kochava Lalia Hashlishit Kochava. Great. Yeah, it's great.
Great name.
Okay. Okay, so we're right here. Just making things.
Naturally.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayeshev Yosef b'Mitzrayim uvet avihu. Vayechi Yosef 110 shanim. Vayahar Yosef leEphraim b'nei Shleshim. Gam b'nei Machir ben Menashe Yuldu al birkei Yosef. Vayomer Yosef el Echav Anochi met ve'Elohim poked yifkod etchem ve'ela etchem min haaretz hazot el haaretz asher nishba l'Avraham leYitzchak u'Yaakov. Vayashba Yosef et bnei Yisrael lemor. Hakod yivkod Elohim excuse me etchem v'halitem et atzmotai mizem. Vayamot Yosef ben 110 shanim. Vayachantuhu oto v'yisem baron b'Mitzrayim.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
All for everything that you do for teaching our young ones who recently populated this room with abandon. So,
And you better know that they knew it.
I was going to say, if you ever want to
Perfectly.
understand, what it takes to be a teacher of young people, come to a family service and see. You get a good sense, for sure. So we're going to now lift and dress the Torah. And Howard, I'm going to do the Hagbah. Do you want to give Galila? Anybody want Galila? Otherwise, we can. It's all right.
Yes, I'll go.
Kevin will do Galila. Kevin will do. Okay, we'll rise as the Torah is lifted and dressed. We're on page
We're already standing.
340. He's going to call us up for you already.
Yeah, exactly.
Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe
לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ויד משה.
Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו
משה.
Hey, please be seated. It's now my real joy to invite Bob Har up to help us with reading Sefer Yonah. Bob's going to chant in Hebrew the opening and closing chapters, and I'll read the English in between. And that reading is found, Bob, you're usually on it. What page we got?
344.
344. You
The
got it.
blessings start on 342. So you're going to do the second and third chapter, yes?
Yes. Yes.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hanemarim b'emes Baruch atah Adonai Abocher b'Torah Moshe Avdo U'Yisroel Amo U'V'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek Vayihi devar Adonai El Yonah ben Amartai lemor Kum lekel nivei Havir hakadola ukra alecha Ki al tara'atam lifnei Vayakam Yonah livroach Tarshisha milifnei Adonai Vaydaber yatzvo vayimtsa avniya ba'at Tarshish Vayitain Sochara Vayeled Baham Lavo Imahem Tarshisha Milifnei Adonai Adonai Heiti Ruach Gadola El Hayam Vahisara Gadol Bayam Vaha Eniha Tishvaha Lehi Shaver Vayiru Hamalachim Vayishkahu Ish Eloha Vayatif et hakelim asher baniyaha el hayam Nadakel mame alehem mayonah Yarad el yarkatei hakinaha Vayishkaha vayeradaham Vayikraha velav rav hachovel Vayomer loho malacha nirdaham kum karaha elalohecha Ulai shtashem ha-Elohim Lavuhu v'lo nevo noveid V'yomaru Ish el rehu lechu nafli gadol ataloho V'nei datzah b'shel mei Herta hazod lavuhu Vayipiluhu goraloho V'yipol ha'gadolah al Yonah Vayomaruhu elaha v'hagivana lanu ba'asher l'miharot hazod lanu Mamalachtecha mer tavo Ma'artzecha v'eim ze'am atah Vayomer alehem yivrihir anoki v'et Adonai Elohei hashamayim ani yareh Asher asa et hayam v'yat yabasha ויראו האנשים יראו גדולה ויאמרו אליו מה זאת עשית כי ידעו אנשים כי מלפני אדוני הוא בורח כי הגיר להם ויאמרו אליו מן בנת שלח וישתוק הים ויהלכו כי הוא ים עולה וסוער ויאמר עליהם שענוני והצילוני את הים וישתוק הים מעליהם כי יודע אני כי בשלי האסר הגדול הזה עליכם ויעתרו האנשים להשיר אל הבשה ולא יכולו כי הים הולך וסוער עליהם ויקראו אל אדוני ויאמרו אנא אדוני אל נא נובדק נפש האיש הזה ואל תיתן עליו דם נקי כי אתה אדוני כאשר חטפת עשית ויזו את יונה ויטילוהו אל הים ויעמוד הים מספו והרי אנשים יראו גדולה את אדוני ויזבחו זבח לאדוני וידרו נדרים.
And Jonah provided a dag gadol, a great fish to swallow Jonah. Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed to Adonai, his God, from the belly of the fish, and he said, I called to Adonai in my distress, and God answered me. I cried out from the belly of the netherworld, and you heard my voice. Into the depths you cast me, into the heart of the sea. And the floods engulfed me, all the billowing, breaking waves swept over me. And I thought to myself, I was banished from before your eyes. Will I ever again gaze upon your holy temple? The waters closed in over me, the deep engulfed me, rushes wrapped around my head. I descended to the low point of the mountains, the gates of the earth closed upon me forever. Yet you, Adonai, my God, raised up my life from the pit. When my life fainted away, I called Adonai to mind, and my prayer came to you, to your holy temple. They who cling to empty folly forsake their own welfare, but I, with a shout of thanksgiving, I will sacrifice to you what I have vowed I will fulfill. Rescue comes from Adonai. Adonai commanded the dog, and it spewed Jonah upon the dry land. And the word of Adonai came to Jonah a second time. Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh, and call out to it to proclaim that I tell you. So Jonah got up and went to Nineveh according to the word of Adonai. Now Nineveh was a great city of God, 3 days' journey across. And Jonah started out and made his way into the city in distance of 1 day walk. And he called out and said, 40 more days, and Nineveh shall be overturned. The people of Nineveh trusted in God, and they proclaimed a fast, and they put on sackcloth from the richest to the poorest. And word reached the king of Nineveh, and he got up from his throne, took off his robe, put on sackcloth, and sat in ashes. And he cried out and said in Nineveh, by decree of the king and his nobles, no person or beast, a flock or herd shall taste anything. They shall not graze, and they shall not drink water. They shall be covered with sackcloth, person and beast, and shall call loudly to God. Let all turn back from their evil ways and from the violence which is in their hands. Who knows? God may turn and relent, turn back from the heart of anger, so that we do not perish. God saw what they did, how they were turning back from their evil ways, and God relented from the evil planned for them, and did not carry it out.
Page 348, third paragraph. Vayral Yonah Ragadolah Vayikalo Vayipalel et Adonai Vayomer Ana Adonai Halot Hazeh Devari Ad Hayotihi et Admatihi Ad Kidamtihi Liro Tarshisha Kiyata El Tachuhum Varachuhum Erech Apayim Varav Chesed V'nicham Al Ha'aravaha V'yata Adonai Chakna et Nafshi Mimeni Ki tov moti mechayaha Vayomer Adonai ha'heteh charach lacha Vayetze Yonah min ha'ir Vayeshev mikedem la'ir V'yahalo sham Sukkah v'yeshev taktecha batzel ad asher yir'eh ma'yeh ba'ir v'yaman Adonai Elohim kikikayon v'yahal me'al Yonah yod Tel aroshoho lahatziloho me'ra'ato v'yismach Yonah al takakik yon simcha gedolah v'yaman ha'elohim tolat ba'olat ha'shama lamacharat Vatahak etakaraha vayivahash Vayihi kishroach hashemesh Vayaman Elohim ruach kadim Karishi vatak hashemesh Al rosh Yonah vayitalaha vayishal et nafsho lamochod vayomer tov moti mechayaha vayomer Elohim el Yonah ha'heteh harach lecha al hakikayon Vayomer Heitev harali ad mavet Vayomer Adonai ata chasta al hakikayon asher lo amalto boho lo gidalto shebin laila hayabin laila avahar Anoki lo achus al ninvei ta'ir hagdola asher yesh baha harbeit mishpeit esrei ribo adam asher lo yada beit yaminaho Lishmo loho uvahemaha rabaha. Page 350. Miel kamocha no se avon v'ovel al pesha. Lish erihit ha'achala soho lo hechazihik liad apo. Ki kafetz chesed hu. Hasu shirachamenu ki b'sho avonosenu. Betashlich min sulam yaham kol chatotam. Titein Emet leYakov, Chesed laAvraham, Asher bata laAvotenu, Mimam kedem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, sadik b'kol hadorot, ha'el haneman omer v'yoseh. Hamdaber Kayim Shekol Devarav Emet Vatzedek Ala Torah V'al Havodah V'al Hanvim V'al Yom HaKippurim Hazeh Shenetatalanu Adonai Eloheinu V'limnucha v'lislicha l'chapara l'chavod u'tifares Ala kol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modihim lach v'vorechim otah Yitbarak shimcha b'fi chochai tamid le'olam vahed v'rachad emet v'kayam lahad baruch atah Adonai Melech mocher v'soleach v'anoseinu litzvorom al beit Yisrael ma'avir ashmotenu b'chol shana v'shana Melech HaKol HaAretz Mekadesh Yisrael Melech HaKol HaAretz Mekadesh Yisrael V'yom HaZikaron HaKippurim.
Amen. So, thanks again to Bob for chanting so beautifully. I just wanted to share with you very quickly, I pointed it out to the cantor. There's a beautiful teaching on the bottom of page 349 from Rabbi Edward Feinstein. And he writes as follows. He says, at the end of the book of Jonah, Jonah inverts God's world. Death becomes life, curse becomes blessing. The attributes of God reverently celebrated in the Torah and recited again and again on these holidays. Adonai, Adonai el Rachum v'Chanun. God compassionate, kind, and forgiving. The attributes of God's love are derisively and sarcastically dismissed. They are rejected. He'd rather die than live in a world governed by a living and loving God. God is astonished and asks him, are you so angry? The Hebrew is more powerful. Hahetev charalach. Is your anger so dear to you? Hetev comes from the word tov in Hebrew. So literally the question is, has anger become your goodness? Has hate displaced the good in you? The book ends with God's frustration, God's distress. It ends with God's question, but it isn't God's question to Jonah anymore. It's a question to us. Why can't you love? The question isn't asked out of rage or disapproval. It is asked in tears, in divine tears of sadness, when God looks into the world and sees what we do to one another. How many genocides since the Holocaust? Cambodia, Biafra, Rwanda, Darfur. God cries and asks, Hetev charalach, where is your compassion? Why can't you love? Beautiful, beautiful teaching. And a reminder that the section of Micah that Bob just chanted is an appendation. It's something that the rabbis added on because had the book of Jonah ended where it ended, had we ended our conversation today there, let's just say it leaves it on something of a cliffhanger. There isn't a resolution. There isn't any feeling of comfort at the end of it. So the words from Micah, which also become what is often traditionally read at Tashlich, act as a sort of a founding and a closing element to it. But this line, right, has your anger become like goodness to you? It's a serious thing for, I think, all of us to consider. So we're going to turn now to our end of our Torah service before we move to the Amidah of our Mincha service. This is on page 352. I'll ask you to rise in body or spirit.
Hallelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado, hodo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehila lechol chasidav, livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Page 353.
כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם תורתי אל תעזובו עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובו חדש חדש ימינו חדש ימינו ככתם.
We'll remain standing for the Amidah, which will begin together on 356 and then continue from there. Just as a note, on page 354, there is a tradition of the afternoon Amidah having a special element to it, a capacity for what is called Tikkun Midot HaNefesh, this idea of sort of trying to repair the parts of ourselves that are broken. And so each section of the 7 sections of the Amidah are broken down and given a Midah section, an idea of Jewish values that associate with a particular section. So we're going to daven the traditional davening. Those that want to will follow us there. If anyone is looking for something that's a little bit more interpretive, you can read to yourself all of the things on page 354 and follow its instruction. And together, we will daven the Amidah in the way that is most meaningful to all of us. So we'll begin again on page 356 and then continue from there.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'imoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ve'hanora Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei Hakol Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot U'mevii Goel Lifnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava. Zochreinu lechaim, melech hafetz b'chaim, v'chotvenu b'sefer hachayim, למענך אלוהים חיים, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
Amen. We're now on page 364.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו שעיני עפר. מי כמוך בר גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל הרחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים.
Amen. We turn now to page 368 for the Kedusha.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושפחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We're now on page 372. וכן תן פחדך אדוני אלוהינו על כל מעשיך ואימתך על כל מה שבראת, ויראוך כל המעשים וישתחוו לפניך כל הברואים, ויעשו כולם אגודה אחת לעשות רצונך בלבב שלם, כמו שידענו אדוני אלוהינו שהשלטון לפניך עוז בידך וגבורה בימינך, ושמך נורא על כל מה שבראת. Page 374. וכן תן כבוד אדוני לעמך, תהילה לרעך ותקווה טובה לדורשך, ופתחון פלם יחלים לך, שמחה לארצך וששון לרעך, וצמיחת קרן לדוד עבדך, ועריכת נר לבן ישי משיחך, במהרה בימינו. We're now on page 376. וכן הצדיקים יראו וישמחו, וישרים יעלוזו, וחסידים מרינה יגילו, ועולתה תקפץ פיה, וכל הרישה כולה כעשן תכלה, כי תעביר ממשלת זדון מן הארץ. Page 378. ותמלוך אתה אדוני לבדך על כל מעשיך, והר ציון משכן כבודך, ובירושלים עיר קודשך, ככתוב בדברי קודשך. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה.
קדוש אתה ונורא שמך, ואין אלוה מבלעדיך, ככתוב ויגבה אדוני צבאות במשפט, והאל הקדוש נקדש בצדקה. ברוך אתה אדוני המלך הקדוש.
We'll turn now to page 384. We'll read together in English in the middle of the page. Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness. Together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of atonement. Page 386. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo letova.
Amen.
Ufokdenu vo livracha.
Amen.
Ve'oshienu vo lechaim.
Amen.
Eternal our God, remember us.
Amen.
Be mindful of us.
Amen.
And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
Favor us with words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace and compassion. We turn now to page 390. God, who is ours and God of our fathers and mothers, lead us to holiness through your mitzvot, and may each of us find a portion of Torah that is ours. You bestow such goodness, teach us to be satisfied and to know the joy of your salvation. May our hearts make our hearts pure, so that we may be of true service to you. For you are the forgiver of Israel, in every generation granting pardon to the tribes of Yeshurun. We have no God of forgiveness and pardon but you alone. You are blessed, Adonai, sovereign, who forgives our failings and pardons the failings of your people, the house of Israel. You banish our guilt from year to year. You reign in majesty over all the earth. You sanctify the people Israel and the day of atonement. As we turn to page 394, we'll read together in English, just in the middle of the page. Eternal our God, your people Israel yearns for your favor. Receive their prayer with loving acceptance, and may you always desire your people's worship. Divine One, close to all who call upon you. Bring your grace and presence near to those who serve you. Pour forth your Spirit on us, and may our eyes see your merciful return to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato letzion.
Amen.
We'll turn now to page 398, and we'll read again in English at the bottom of the page on to page 400. God who is ours, God of all generations, to you we are grateful forever. Rock and protector of our lives, your saving power endures from age to age. We thank you and tell the tale of your praise, your power in our lives, your caring for our souls, the constant miracle of your kindness. Morning, noon, and night, we call you goodness, for your compassion never ends. We call you mercy, for your love has no limit. We call you hope, now and for all time. And for all these gifts, God of majesty, may your name come to be blessed and praised, our gratitude a daily offering until the end of time. Inscribe your covenant partners for a life of goodness, and may all life resound with gratitude and faith in praise of your name. God, you sustain us and help us. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha u'lechanae lehodot. Turn now to page 404, Birkat Kohanim. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu. Our God, divine presence whose path our ancestors walked, bless us now with words first bestowed on Israel in the time of Moses and Aaron. The threefold blessing given us through Torah that joins our hopes with theirs. Yibarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Ken yehi ratzon.
May God bless you and protect you.
May it be so.
May you receive the light of God's kindness and grace.
May it be so.
May God bestow favor upon you and give you peace.
May it be so.
Turn now to page 406, Sim Shalom.
Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha. Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha. Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha. Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. V'rachamim. Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha. Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha. Sim Shalom. Tova uvracha.
בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה. ונזכר ונכתב לפניך אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום. Include the Amidah with Oseh Shalom on page 410, second paragraph down from the top.
Oseh Shalom b'imramah hu yaseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru amen ve'imeru
We'll turn now to page 412 as we begin our Slichot Vidui. We'll read together in English towards the bottom of the page. As parents show tenderness to their children, may you show mercy to those who worship you. Like the heavens that tower above the earth, your love is powerful for those who revere you. Liberation is a gift from God, a blessing upon your people. You are the God of all we can perceive, our heaven, the God of Yaakov. And you are the God of all that is beyond our perception. The one who has faith in you is fortunate. Sovereign God, show us the way to freedom. Answer us on this day of our calling out to you. Moses prayed to God, as you have been faithful to this people ever since Egypt. Please forgive their failings now in keeping with your boundless love. Page 414, the very top.
Vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha. Vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha. Vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha, salachti kidvarecha.
Hianu Amecha, just below that on page 414.
Ki anu amecha ve'ata Eloheinu, anu vanecha ve'ata avinu, anu avadecha ve'ata Adonenu, anu kehalecha ve'ata chelkeinu, anu nachlatecha ve'ata goraleinu, anu tzonecha ve'ata roeinu, anu charemecha ve'ata notreinu, anu feulatecha ve'ata dodeinu, anu segulatecha ve'ata kiroveinu, anu kamecha ve'ata Ve'atamachenu anu amecha Ve'atamachenu anu ma'amirecha Ve'atamamireinu.
We're now on page 416, Tavo lefanecha, second line down from the top in Hebrew.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Tavo lefanecha, Tefilateinu, Ve'aleti talan mitchinateinu shein anachnu azefanim ukashei oref lomar lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imotenu tzadikim anachnu velo chatanu Aval anachnu chatanu avinu pashanu.
We rise for the Vidui on the bottom of page 416.
Ay 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 Ashanu bagadnu gazanu dibarnu dofi hevinu vehirshanu Zanu Chamasnu Tafalnu Shaker Ay 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 Yatsnu Ra Kizavnu Latsnu Maranu Yatsnu Sararnu Avinu Pashanu Sararnu Keshinu Oref Ay 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 Rashanu Shichatnu Tiavnu Tainu Titanu Ay 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 ay.
Please be seated. We're now on page 418, the Vidui Rabbah, the Long Confession. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways that we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and for harm we have caused in your world through insincere promises. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and for harm we have caused in your world by making light of serious matters. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you, by giving in to our hostile impulses and harm we have caused in your world through condensation. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through our innermost thoughts, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you by hating without cause, and harm we have caused in your world through hypocrisy. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. We'll go to page 420, or the very top of the page. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world through our thoughtlessness. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you by profaning your name in public, and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through gossip and rumor, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through narrow-mindedness, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink. Ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you by betraying trust, and harm we have caused in your world through impulsive acts of malice. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
Ve'al kulam meloch selichot, selach lanu mechal lanu kapel lanu. Ve'al kulam eloch selichot, selach lanu mechal lanu, selach lanu mechal lanu kapel lanu.
We rise in preparation for Avinu Malkeinu, as we offer an initial reading on page 426. Avinu Malkeinu, as Joseph wept and opened a forgiving heart to his brothers, let our hearts be open to those who ask our forgiveness. Avinu Malkeinu, as the high priest entered the innermost shrine to atone, let our acts of tshuva touch our innermost life. Avinu Malkeinu, as Jonah cried out to God, I thought I was driven away. Let us reach for the divine from the depths of our being. Avinu Malkeinu, as you said to Moses and Israel, you shall be holy, for I am holy. Let us affirm today we shall pursue holiness in our everyday lives, revering mother and father, providing for the poor, rising before the aged, loving neighbor and stranger as ourselves. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, חטאנו לפניך. אבינו מלכנו, חמול עלינו, ויעלול עלינו, ותעבנו. אבינו מלכנו, כלי תבל, וחרב ורעב מעלינו. אבינו מלכנו, כלי כל צר ומסטין מעלינו. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, כתבנו בספר חיים טובים. אבינו מלכנו, חדש עלינו, חדש עלינו, שנה טובה. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, חדש עלינו, שנה טובה. אבינו מלכנו, שמע קולנו, שמע קולנו, שמע קולנו. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו, כי אין בנו מעשים. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו.
We remain standing for Aleinu on page 432, very top. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leyotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 433.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Okay, please be seated. Gemar Chatima Tova, everyone. So our Mincha service is completed now. We have intentionally always a little bit of time between Mincha and the beginning of Yizkor. So this is your time to use however you'd like. You're welcome to stay in the sanctuary, move around the building, just be safe and all of that. Our Yizkor service will start promptly at 5:30. but mostly just to make yourselves comfortable in the meanwhile. If you need anything, find somebody probably other than me. But you know, I could only do so much saving on one day, I think, is it. But we'll see you back again at 5:30, or again, if you're in your seats and comfortable, you're welcome to stay here, and we'll begin the service of Yizkor, which again will go right into Ne'ilah. So, yeah.